And there, now we're live. Okay. What's up? Good evening, everybody. Just give me 1 second here. Oh, that's creepy. Seeing my own TikToks. Joker vibes. All right. We're gonna give everybody here just a minute since it's kind of a late alert. What's up? Good evening. All right. I think we're good to go. Good evening, everybody. If you guys don't mind, if you guys are hopping in on TikTok, make sure to leave a like. Same thing on YouTube. And we're going to go ahead and get started here in about 2 minutes. All right. Let's bring that up a little bit. All right. Looks good. Good evening. What's up, everybody? All right. Looks like we got everybody here. Something more dumpy tomorrow. Actually, I might see me looking at some things to the upside tomorrow. So we're going to talk about that tonight. So a lot of solid plays today. Yeah, we did. We had a lot of solid plays today. Really proud of a lot of people here in the Discord for executing outside. Those of you guys on the TikTok. The swing trade on Rivian, all of that, just absolute awesomeness. So first things first, it appears that futures have not moved much, if at all. And we're going to talk about what we would like to see going into tomorrow. So without any further ado, so we definitely had some pain, as you guys can see by the heat map here. Potter do a backflip. Give me 1 second and about 3 months of exercise. So anyway, we saw most of the major ETFs. We saw the S&P down 3.2%, NASDAQ 4.29%, the Russell 4.21%, and the Dow Jones 1.99%. We saw, as well as in top movers or just in things dumping. In after hours, you saw Upstart falling 8%, and then another 41% in after hours. I know a lot of you guys probably caught that one. It dropped down to dropped down 41%. It looks like AMC fell another 9% during the regular session, and it is attempting to see a small rally in after hours, sitting up around 4%. So Bitcoin sliced through 34%, 34K. And of course, we saw Coinbase and MicroStrategy dropping around 19 and 25%. So those were definitely hot. How much did I lose today? What do you mean? We made money today. We made lots of money. Today was a great day. We woke up to money. So, oh my gosh, there is a lot to go over. And I don't know if you guys want me to go over AMC stuff, but I'd rather not. I really don't see, it's not anything that I would be interested in trading unless I saw an actual real setup on that one. So, but just moving on, Upstart, as far as their earnings is concerned, They reported an adjusted net income of 28 million to 30 million, down from 32.7 million in Q1 2021 or 2022, and the company's guidance ranged from 295 million to 305 million, a miss from the estimates of 334.8 billion. So regarding full year revenue guidance, Upstart posted 1.25 billion, a major miss from estimates of 1.4 billion. Now they have already fallen a lot, so I don't really see an immediate leg down, and it could actually be a good play to the upside. Not for a long, but just in regards for a day trade. So. Anyway, that's really it. I just wanted to cover those major ETFs, and I want to go ahead and go over our economic calendar. If you guys are on TikTok here, I got 411 likes. If you guys don't mind just tapping your screen for me a little bit, that would definitely help me out as far as the algorithm is concerned. Do I have that? Okay, the screen's right. Anyway, so we are nearing CPI. All right, and I really think that the next move and the next week is likely going to be dictated by that set of data points. Tomorrow we have NFIB, small business optimism, but those of you guys who traded FOMC with us, you guys remember that the days leading up to, we had some volatility, but at the end of the day, it was a really rough, really rough trading conditions. And so as we go into core CPI, there is a good chance that maybe we spend a lot of time chopping. And I'm going to discuss a couple of highlight stocks that I see at least tomorrow. I've got quite the watch list, and I wish I had somebody sitting beside me firing off on another account, because there is a lot of setups, and I know everybody is looking to the downside. Everybody's asking me, is there going to be more downside? Are we dumping? Is this a crash? And you know what that means? That means we're likely going to bounce. So that being said, as far as earnings are concerned, we did have Zynga earnings. We'll see where that goes. I think it dropped down to about $7.50 in after hours. The contracts were ridiculously cheap, and we'll see what that brings. Tomorrow, we will be highlighting Roblox, Li Auto. CleanSpark might be interesting, but I'm not really interested in that one. I wouldn't get into anything on GRWG that you wouldn't want to lose, because the stock has now dropped down to $5. I used to play this thing at 70, so. Yeah, there is a lot of setups. So, Coinbase, Rocket, SoFi, even Kodak. So we have a decent earnings setup tomorrow. So those will be highlights and possibly reasons to save a little bit of gambling. I mean, you call it gambling money, because that's just the reality of it. If you're taking trades on earnings, you're gambling. So we only use a little bit of money when we do that. But let me go ahead and I know everybody's probably going to ask me, so I'm going to start with SPY. And I know I'm going to go over SPY, and I'm going to go over the Qs. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over my watch list and then take your guys' request. So anyway, I've been staring, and we did some charting, those of you on TikTok with me a little bit earlier. And so my setup right now, and we've been talking about this channel since the top. We've been talking about this channel since the rejection here. We've even been talking about this channel since the three rejections at 429. So let me zoom in for TikTok here. But that being said, and I'm going to highlight this line. I'm going to change the color. We'll just make it green and make it bigger. But this is at my projected support. This one was caused by a massive gap down, and I'm just going with the key level of 415. And if you go down to the lower time frame, it becomes a little bit clearer as to where exactly that first retest happens. So I'm agreeing on this as being my support, and it does show. So one thing that I like to do, if I'm looking at the higher, say I'm looking at the daily, right? And I see that a candle closes below the daily or on the daily, And most people are looking at this candle and they're saying, okay, that's bearish, right? And I would agree with you. It is bearish, but the bearishness has already been bared, right? We've already dumped. So to dump and hit support, that's obviously where you need to start looking for potential bounces. And that's why I always tell people, if you're too zoomed in, zoom out. And if you're too zoomed out, zoom in. So in this case, we're going to go down, and you can see it on the hourly time frame, right? You can even see it on this hourly candle close. Lots of volume today, a gap left unfilled to the upside around 408.60. But then if you go down to the 15-minute, this becomes a little bit clearer. Now, we did get 3 rejections off of the top, so that one could argue that this is pretty much done for. But let me change this really quick. But looking at this chart and looking at where we actually rejected, I would say that this is actually the second tap of resistance, excuse me. And that being said, I'm thinking that either where this candle closed on the 15, it's the last 15-minute candle, you can expect some volatility, or even if it's right here and that support lines up, you're still in a channel where you could look for a possible break. So tomorrow, SPY above 403, 402.35 and 403, in my opinion, should give us a retest. And of course, you'll see some choppiness around the 403.80 and 404s. But I think that we could see a 405 retest as of tomorrow. That could trigger a squeeze, right? So there's a lot of people, like you guys are noticing, that are looking at stocks to the downside. But that brings me to, so that could cause a squeeze, right? So that brings me to my last point. Hourly time frame, okay? And I guess I should have done this first, but we're gonna zoom in a little bit further. You know what? I'll do it on the 15. So we'll stick on the 15. So running up from this high and running down to this resistance, there is way too much confluence. So check this out. This is what's really, really exciting to me, is that where we see that channel on the 15, if you zoom out and you look at the hourly or you look at the 15 this way, this is a falling wedge, all right? Now, I'm gonna try and clean this up a little bit because I know there's a lot going on, so we'll get rid of the pivots. So anyway, I'm gonna mark out a few key levels for you guys to watch out for, that I'm gonna be watching for tomorrow. So we've got this one right here. This is and of course you can't disregard wicks, but you've got 404.14. You've got where the body candle closes, and that's going to be 403.20. And of course, you know, volume matters. And again, if you're looking at, yeah, get rid of that. If you're looking at that lower time frame, right, because you could spot this on the 5, this is your resistance. So you have a dynamic resistance, you've got key levels to watch out for, but ultimately, right, we're looking at a 15-minute falling wedge into support, right? So that cascading setup, right, where you have a lower time frame reversal pattern, should at least give us a 50% reversal or retracement of the pattern itself. So I was explaining this earlier. When I see a falling wedge, okay, when I am projecting targets, I'm saying, okay, where can we possibly hit? What kind of volume am I going to need to see to hit that? I'm going to go over here and I'm going to measure, right, from the bottom where we're at 396.65, and then to the top right here, this is 425. And then I'm going to grab another one, right? And I'm going to basically, you can either do it by eye, if you want to do it mathematically, whatever you want to do. But you'll notice, what do you guys see here? Those of you guys who have been trading with me for a minute. In this pattern, in this visible, right? So we have the volume profile over here. All of the volume, so that point of control is 412.40 or 412.50, 412.45. There's also a level of 413.75. So these are going to be places that we could end up reversing to because everybody's looking down. And if everybody's looking down going into CPI, and even tomorrow, we could see this come. I could see it reversing, and we could see this play end up moving tomorrow. So this, of course, sets up a lot of different stocks to potentially bounce. Now, if it loses today's low, 496, I do have a secondary bounce level at 395. I don't know why that's up there. 395 for a potential bounce. And of course, where we gap down to or gap up to definitely matters. And we will, of course, discuss that tomorrow at the open, or before the open. So I think we'll see a 50% over the dump over the next quarter. That'd be sick. So anyway, yeah. So now that we got SPY, let's take a look at the Qs. Okay, so those of you who follow me on TikTok or on Twitter, I'm gonna go ahead and tweet out this setup. I'm gonna leave this stuff on there. So anybody who looks at this is gonna be probably pretty confused, but you'll know. And you can keep this up. You can watch it tomorrow. Nothing to see here. What? Okay, I guess I'll just copy that chart image. All right, so I'm tweeting that out right now. 15-minute on SPY. And that's going out now. So I just tweeted that out. And then we're going to go to the daily. I guess I could go with the hourly. No, let's go with the 4 hour at least. And we're going to delete these lines. Sorry guys, I want to take my time and make sure that this is well documented for my sake, and obviously so that you guys have a reference. So obviously looking back, we can see and learn a lesson from it. Okay, so this is support, as I discussed before. And again, you'll know, of course, that looking at the hourly, we've established where support is at, 414. Look at the key level right next to it. So we're not going to disregard that. So I see, again, that bounce off of support. So SPY 380. We'll see. I could be wrong, but so I'm going to go ahead and copy that. And then I'll tweet that out. SPY, or excuse me. Yeah, SPY. Sorry. I thought I switched. All right. Okay, so I just tweeted that out really quickly, taking a look at the Qs. Let's see here. So same thing. Before I go and delete everything, take a look at this. This is the 4 hour time frame. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Zoom. All right, so we've got this downtrend starting from these highs, 1, 2, 3, right? Let's go to the hourly time frame. Now, again, same thing with SPY, except for this one looks like it wants to, if it does bounce, wants to possibly squeeze into outer space. Now, what am I talking about? So running from the highs there, pulling it down, we've got a perfect resistance. We've got moving averages. Hold on 1 second. All right. Sorry, I thought probably my cat. It's creepy. Anyway, my lights have been flickering and stuff lately. It's been weird. So anyway, the QQQ also has the same little channel at the bottom, and it's got that 15-minute falling wedge. Again, with the reversal pattern and looking at the gap, we could see QQQ up at 309.75. All right, so 309.75. So same setup with the Qs. So 5 minute. And I guess I'll zoom out. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a, oh, I'm gonna take a picture, post that. All right. JD calls after those puts today. I actually signaled more puts, but that may have been me losing my shit. All right, so QQQ falling wedge, both our smaller. All right, so that's tweeted out as well. The excuse me, the link in my bio is where you can find my Twitter. So anyway, hourly falling wedge. There it is. Boom, boom, boom. All right. All right. So anyway, as for my watch list tomorrow, due to these setups, okay, you guys know it. We've got first of all, we've got Tesla. Now Tesla is, and I have a projected resistance. I also have a projected support running down from here that could bring Tesla down to like the 740. So again, I'm ready to be wrong tomorrow. So I'm calling for upside, but I do have a plan, and we'll go over that more in depth tomorrow. But Tesla, 15-minute falling wedge. This one, I'd like to see a small gap down to 775. If we get a small gap down, then more than likely I'll take that gap fill to the upside and hold it, looking for the target of 825. This one has a great setup as far as where it could squeeze to, and I think that you could see a nice gap fill to 863.75, and that would be a supply test here, and that would just be a nice retest, even if you just end up falling even more. So you have a falling wedge there, so you could get an early entry depending on where we're at in the AM. Falling wedge right there, yeah, we'll see what we get. So Tesla is going to be probably calls for me, looking to leg in probably above 810 as it pushes that 810, good volume, and then I will leg in to probably another 5 contracts as we push up into the 838 and nearing 840. I'll trim out 75%, and then if we bust into the gap, I might add like another contract or two, let the original OG runners run into that gap and TP. Yeah, yo, if you keep spamming the chat, man, I want to help everybody, dude, but I'm going over my watch list, and I mean, imagine we were in a room together, right? And I'm going over this chart, and everybody, there's 121 people plus 40 or something from YouTube, and they're all behind me, and you were just whispering in my ear, Yeti, earn, caller put, Yeti, earn, caller put. It would just be kind of weird. So let's maybe not do that. I do want to look at it for you, but I mean, you could be yelling. You know, yelling would be far more invasive, but the whispering feels like it would be. Yeah. Anyway, so Nvidia. This is Big Stepper's bread and butter right here. I'm gonna invade and see if I can't get some tendies from this one. If you have any setups, Big Step, feel free to hop on live tomorrow, by the way. So let's talk about this. And I don't want to, so I'll just reverse this once I'm done. But I'm gonna delete these lines because I know it can get kind of messy. And these are, I think, irrelevant. They're way too far away. Yeah, these don't have to be there. We know those are key levels, and I'm going to leave that one there. Okay, so NVIDIA looks as if it hit support today, right? All bears are thinking, okay, we closed under support, and what would screw them up the most than a push to the upside. So let's go down now that we see the daily time frame. We see that NVIDIA is at support. That's number one. We're going to go to the hourly time frame, okay? Because this is, again, like the rest of the overall market, there's a lot of reversal patterns and a lot of setups to trade them. So first of all, lower time frame falling wedge, that's number one. You also sitting on the channel, so check that out. You got a little channel here. That's got to be my cat. No problem, dude. So anyway, let me show you the 15-minute. That's going to help a lot more. So check out the 15-minute. Look at that beautiful falling wedge on NVIDIA. Big volume. Look at that volume stepping up right at the end of the day, picking up the stock and closing it right on top of 169.27. So tomorrow, this one has great levels, 172.25. Now I have potential early entries above 171.50 and 176.50. I will post these levels in the Discord. It's going to be in the Potter analysis. So those of you guys in the Discord will have access to it. And I'll post the charts alongside with it. But anyway, this one just going and testing downtrend is going to be a really, really awesome play. I hope we don't get a crazy gap up, or if this just does all of this without me. But what I'm projecting here, and of course, again, I'm ready to be wrong because we are in a downtrend market. But remember, bear market rallies are stronger than bull market rallies, and there's a lot of people who could possibly get squeezed out of their positions due to a bounce like this, thinking that the entire market's going to continue to fall. So anyway, that 872.85, right? That's where I'm thinking we possibly move to. We could get a small retest, so pullback, and if it does pull back, I'll likely, with good volume, add to my position. Next level will be I got 176.50. Obviously 175 is a psychological number, so be prepared to run a little bit past that, possibly into that 176 range. But that's going to be your first resistance. And of course, I'm not one to just like project exactly what's going to happen there, but maybe a little pullback as well. And then a push to resistance. If we break, and I'm setting an alert on this trend line right now. If we break this trend line on NVIDIA, right, this right here, this beautiful gap, I'm going to enter, hold on, let me rephrase that. I'm going to trade this gap, 181.12 all the way to 186.19. Now that's if we have good volume, and you know what that would give us? That would give us a supply retest. So zooming out, right? Let's go mark this line out. And what is like the area of consolidation above you that you break down below, right? That's supply. This is the supply above you. If it's below you, it's probably demand. So in this case, that's what I'm thinking for NVIDIA. Little channel there, push to the upside. Of course, we'll have to, we're going to have to keep in mind volume, moving averages, sentiment, et cetera, but NVIDIA looks really good, and I like this one. This is another language. It is another language, but it really doesn't take that long to, I have a whole dictionary of stocks, stock stuff that you can go and look for. So a stock terminology, A to Z. And it will become less alien. So Facebook. Now this one did reject. Okay, it did reject its. And I know some people played this one. Big selling volume on this one, surprisingly. But look at where. So this is so awesome to me. This is a confluence. So let's mark out the gap bounce. Right, the gap bounces at 193.50, okay? And so far, there's a lot of selling volume on Facebook. This may not be a great play to the upside. It may be one that you could take out till next week, but we'll see how it goes. It does have a massive gap up there. There's no way in hell I could see Facebook ripping it that far. But of course, I've seen crazier things. This is technically a rounded top. And if we did end up reversing and hitting 205, which is going to be my target, or 204.30, that would make a inverse cup and handle. And then we could look excuse me, look to target the gap all the way to maybe down to 175. So, but anyway, this one does have a falling wedge, and if we gap down tomorrow, or if we push down at the bell and we hit that 193 and we start to chop, 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 and then inventory comes from London and then we unload and I see that 15-minute candle close bullish, I'm probably going to go ahead and start legging into something small. But again, there's great setups overall in the market. So, all right. Mr. Potter calling the bottom, right? Hell freezes over. Okay, so that's it. Keeping the watch list simple. Um, one last thing. AMD. So this is the last one on my watch list. It's going to be a little bit more speculative, but with Nvidia, it's either one or the other. One or the other rips, and so I'm going to try and figure out which one's going to rip tomorrow. But AMD has a gap that's way far away. It's like at 94 to 95. And these contracts could be awesome contracts to grab out of the money. Once we see a bounce, we could grab a gap fill, potentially like a 95 call. And then we will look for sweeps. And now that I'm done, and again, I'll go over this more in depth tomorrow. Let me say one thing, right? I'm very rare to call the bottom or say this is, and again, AMD could end up hitting 8450. That's where we're going to look for that bounce, by the way. So I should have mentioned that. But I take no, like, if I'm wrong, here's what I take pride in: execution. I have a plan. I don't care. Like, I'm in, there's a lot of people who watch me. So there's a lot of people who are watching me right now or have seen my analysis maybe go the right way, or they've seen my analysis suck or fall. I haven't seen it. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm ready to be wrong. And again, I'm not one to just call the bottom on some stocks just because I see a 5-minute falling wedge. Now, there's a lot of inclinations that we should see some upside. But again, I am ready to be wrong. And if there's low volume to the downside, I do not short support. And so if you guys want to do that, you're more than welcome. But you can do that on your own. I'm pretty much banking on the upside. 87.50 for AMD, by the way. And then yeah, that'll be that. So thank you for the hey Pots, do you set a daily goal? I have a daily goal. So everything about my system, and I'll go ahead and I'll chart. I'll write down some stocks that I'll chart. Wrote down Fubo. I've got Roku. Let's see here. I've got Netflix. Um, and if you guys from TikTok want your charts charted, um, yo, Chef Narb in the chat. Oh, what's up? Cool. Um, let's see here. I'm just reading your comments here on YouTube. They opened at 20, maybe high volume and it close tomorrow. Am I still holding Rivian? Yes. Can you look at Rivian to 15? Yes. I can look at Rivian to 15. I love you too, Sway J. Jay. Um, he's your best friend. Nice. Um, long-term thoughts on PayPal. Uh, I'll take a look at it. Okay, so really quickly, the question. Oh, Yeti. That's right, Yeti. I'll write down Yeti. I'll get to that one. Um, you still trade Apple? Oh yeah, I tear Apple up every once in a while. Um, okay, so ooh, I don't like the details showing on my skin there. Um, so the question was, um, where's it at? Do you set a daily goal and daily drawdown max? If what percentage do you use? So here's the deal. Um, and if you haven't known, or just if I haven't disclosed it before, I started with a system that I have not changed since I figured out that this system worked for me. Why? Because it's not broken, it hasn't served me wrong, and I pay my bills. That's the number one thing. I pay my bills. I live beyond my means. I'm able to save money. I'm able to invest. Able to do giveaways. Like stuff like that. So I basically had a really really bad issue with a psychological number of 10 grand. I would take it didn't matter really what account size, $365. One time I took an 80, I think I had, excuse me, not 80, I had $8 in a Robinhood account, and I ended up taking it, like, and you could see play by play, there was no deposits, I didn't have like a bank hooked up, I think I sold the shares they give you, and I ended up taking that one, into the $500-600 range. But when I hit 10,000, my account would dump. I would lose all of my money. And it happened consistently. And I've seen a lot of other traders go through the same thing where managing 10,000 is way, it's way too much, or it happens way too quick, right? All of a sudden you're dealing with a $500 account. Now you have a $15,000 account, and you have really, access to more liquidity and better returns, but at the same time, bigger losses and debilitating losses at that. So I know a lot of you have probably increased your accounts, probably at the beginning, and then, or maybe not, and then seen it fall. So what I did is I decided after hitting, my mark is 30K, right? I could grow an account, I think, and I've obviously had my main account, my 30K account. I've had that go over like 85, 90K in a month. So the deal is 30K wired in, or it stays in there. Excuse me, not wired in, stays in there, and then I trade on that 30K for the entirety of the month. And at the end of the month, I wire out my gains. And it's that simple, because it just simply allows me to operate inside of a system that I feel comfortable in. And I like the almost like self-competition of seeing how far I can take the $30 or the 30K account each time. But again, it pays the bills. It makes me feel good as far as like safety. I don't feel like I'm putting too much out there. I could go ahead and post up a 150K account and then get my ass handed to me. And then as somebody who is in front of a camera all the time, I really don't want to be dealing with large psychological losses. And then as you guys can see, a lot of creators will disappear for periods of time after delivering losses to themselves and their followers. Especially when you're dealing with big numbers, that's where the psychological feels like warfare ends up happening. So I keep myself in a little cage, and that's about it. So hopefully that answers my your question. Yeah. But anyway, as far as the request, I guess I'll do Yeti first because dude was yelling Yeti. All right, so I can already tell you got a 15-minute wedge. That's number one without even charting it. Right here. So bottom here. So you got a little wedge formed anywhere below, obviously 45.50. Now we zoom out to the daily. Let's see what the daily looks like. Yeti has a zone to watch around 44.50 and ultimately 43.27 to the downside. That's the levels that I'm giving you. Now, let's see, what about a downtrend? Ooh, this thing is hot dog water. Ooh, damn. Ooh, damn. Um, I really think that shit, you might need a buyout at this point because this thing looks like it might end up free falling. You're going into earnings with support around $38 on Yeti. Now, if you pop on earnings to the upside, this is your downtrend currently at the moment. So I would say that the first initial target that I would think is 52 and then possibly $56. that's on a good or better than average earnings. And you have to think to yourself, supply chain issues. Yeti is definitely not the brand that they don't have that hype that I think they had when they first started. So I really don't see them as like a hot buy. They have relatively low volume, trading volume. So I don't know. Looking at this, maybe if the overall market moves, you could see Yeti bounce tomorrow and give you a little retest of 48.60. But again, you're going into earnings, and I can only give you where I think you might drop to. So maybe 37.85 or $38 for Yeti. So I'm making little notes on this. I would say if I was to place a bet on Yeti, I would say 37 80 or $38. Upside, I would say 53.75, or shitty flat earnings, maybe $50. Um, the highest I could see it going is 56. Tesla at the bottom of the range on the daily. Yes, I have that charted out. That's we were going over that on YouTube if you are watching our stream. So, um, okay, so Fubo is next. Oof, man, I used to trade this stock like way up there, dude. I played Fubo. Listen, I played Fubo I think it was like 2018 to $27. 27 is right here, and we played this one as it ripped into the 60s. It was absolutely bonkers. That being said, this thing is dead. There is no, so you have a downtrend, and I would say that there is rising volume now. Fubo is definitely an interesting prospect as in the future, as a speculative buy. But currently, as it go, and I think what they just had earnings. I don't know where they're at in pre-market or post-market. Where are they at? Okay, so the way that I see it, based on the channel that I see right here for Fubo, you need to break up and hit $4. Really, I would say 470. So if you set an alert at 470, then $6.26 is the immediate retest that I see. But anywhere below 238, and this stock obviously can't go into the negatives, but oh, okay. Never mind. Hold on. Rewind. Rewind. I'm wrong. Okay, that's a correction. Yeah, I'm wrong. That's not the right trend line there. So you have a falling wedge, not a channel. If this had a channel, the stock would probably go into the negatives. That being said, I would say it's actually a pretty interesting chart. Hold on a second. My pen. So I'm going to highlight that. So Fubo, right? We could even throw some money into equity there. There. What the hell just happened to me? Um, and look for, I mean, maybe squeeze potential. We'll have to look at the short interest. But Fubo falling, Wedge. This one has been falling forever. And yeah, that's what I would say. Watch it above. So I'll set an alert at. Yeah, definitely squeezable. I really don't go after squeezes too much, but this one, yeah, yeah, I think it's good. 350. So watch 350. So I think we'll buy some. How about this? Tomorrow morning, I think I'm going to go ahead and pre-market. I'll watch, and I may start legging into some equity, right? And then I'll add options if I see fit. But maybe we'll see what happens. But if the market rallies like I'm suspecting it could, and remember, AMC, GameStop, AMC just had earnings. If they try and do a little fake squeeze, you could see other squeeze. That's how it works, right? It's almost like they spread everybody out. It's pretty crazy. But 395 is where at 395 and $4 is where you would want to break above for Fubo. So Roku. Again, another motherfucking falling wedge. Jesus. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and end tonight's live. Whatever your stock you're looking at has a falling wedge. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. So Roku looks like it's on its way to support. Again, a gap down could be favorable. $81 would be the gap down level that I'd be looking for. Congratulations, crypto holders. Yeah, right. $80, $81, somewhere in that range. That's where I could see Roku hitting again. Now, let me also say this. Roku could just go for a simple retest in the 90s, or excuse me, a retest of $96. But this is 1, 2, 3, right? And then you could say 1, 2, 3 as well, off of resistance and support. So anywhere below $80, y'all. And we might have a dumper on our hands. And that being said, Roku, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I would say below 79.50 and $79. This one's got a straight shot to 75. Um, yeah, so I would say from here, it looks like you might end up going to $75. Looks like a falling wedge, but it looks like it's also failed, like a lot of other stocks. So, hey, do not spam the chat, my guy. Please do not. Please, dude, you don't see anybody else in here. If you send one more, dude, I'm gonna ban you. No, I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but I think you've already heard me say that a couple times. But I mean, what you're doing is mad selfish, dude. Everybody else has just simply dropped a request, and in the last 30 seconds, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 requests, and so now the chat's clouded up. So please do not do that. Thank you to those of you who are not. All right. So anyway, Netflix is next. Why do we have Fubo, Netflix? We have all of these. I can't tell if that's sarcasm or not. All right. 172. Damn. Yo, this looks terrible. 135. 135. 135. Good God. Yeah, so I see Netflix long hitting 135, but let's not forget, that stuff doesn't happen overnight. And so let's take a look at the 4 hour really quickly. Beautiful. 152.50. 152.50. Hopefully. Or just right here. So I would say a $200 PT tomorrow on a bounce. No, 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 no. We're not going to ban him. Everybody makes mistakes, man. I told him not to do it. He said, my bad. Didn't mean that. If he doesn't do it again, yeah, we're good. Come on, it's not a dictatorship over here. I'm not Putin. I'm making my way down the list. All right, so a lot of you asking me about Rivian. I gotta be honest with you. The lockup has expired. It is got extreme. It has got higher volume. I'm sorry. This entry was fire. It really was. I'm happy with it. We're up 190% or something like that. But as this does, and I'll show you on the lower time frame, look like it could end up seeing a bounce. And I believe, yeah, this one's at IPO lows. I still see this one as a $15 stock. Now, you want me to be like serious as far as like really where this thing could fall, and fall long. I'm not saying that one, but I'm thinking that we could. I mean, we could even see 12 bucks going short. So $3 maybe. But anyway, $15 is my price target at the moment, based on the standard deviation channel that we're trading in. As far as the hourly time, or excuse me, we're gonna have to go to the 15. So as far as the 15-minute time frame is concerned, so like the rest of the overall market, lower time frame, it's kind of giving us the wedge look, right? So we could play Rivian above 2350, or be safer, maybe 2387, and then you can either cut your put and just play this up to the highs of 25 bucks, and then watch for a projection around there. So all right, so that's Rivian falling wedge. Set your alerts down, up. If we gap down to I believe we'll gap down to 2180. If we gap down Rivian to 2180, and that'll be a channel, and then we can watch for a channel bounce, I will TP at 21 bucks. You could let this go in the money. You have till June, right? You have a I think this is what contract do we have right now? Here, let me see. So we have the Rivian $20 put for June 17th, 2022. Yeah. I think we're gonna see green tomorrow, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm up a good amount on that. So, by the way, if you guys are in the Discord, make sure to check the announcement page. What a day! Hell yeah! How do you get the ticker name? Just go to settings, go to appearance, you'll see it. Real quick, if you guys are on the TikTok stream, if you guys don't mind spamming the like button for me, there's 96 of you. So one like a piece would be 96 likes. Um, but yeah, I would appreciate that. The algorithm is still mad at me for being gone. All right, so let's see. MDB, I think was that one. Mondongo or whatever the fuck it's called. MDB, yeah. All right, so MongoDB. I'm just making up words right now, sorry. Let's look at the daily. Start with the daily. Ooh, this was like, ooh. Uh, this looks like hot dog water. Good hot dog water. Oh man. So this is really awesome. You guys ready for this? So let me show you guys something. 10-year chart on Amazon. This is how I find my long targets. Now, first of all, one could expect a bounce. We're getting really, really close to 242, but this stock does have a head and shoulders. In my opinion, it does. It's not perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect. But we've got a nice shoulder here. We've got the head there. We've got a shoulder there. And so I would want to see, and it looks like we got earnings. So on earnings, which is June 3rd, listen, this stock falling here, I could say 178. And I may I may end up taking out. I may end up taking out a leap on that. I'll have to go look at the premiums, but I'm gonna write that down. And this is the beautiful thing is if you guys find setups and they're good, high probability setups, I'm gonna let you know, right? Because obviously if I like it, and you're already liking it, that's two people who like it, and that's really all it takes. No, that's not all it takes. I was being Stupid. All right, so that's MDB. Definitely a head and shoulders. Look for a little bit of chop maybe or bounce. You could hold this support and even retest up. So don't get crazy on that one. And I would say maybe, oh my God, there we go. Why do I have a negative on my chart? Okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't see this thing bouncing straight through. Um, 238, 240 on MDB. MU is another stock. So we are watching semiconductors as of tomorrow. So first of all, so not as good as of a setup here, but you are at support on MU and liable to end up retesting like everything else, retesting your supply at $72. Now, 15-minute time frame shows me that we have the potential double bottom here off of 67.50, and so watch for a push past this 69. The immediate level that I see is $70. It's psychological, and then there. So if you break above 70.40, and I would say in the morning, watch for a push up. You could fade. Listen, you could push up at the bell, and then fade down and then chop all the way into CPI. Remember, a lot of the times we're just buying time. So watch your whole live stream on TikTok. Thank you for your little backstory on why you do this. God bless. Bro. Oh, of course, man. I thought Head and Shoulders has to be in an angle. Who told you that? Who told you that? Who said that? Tell me right now. It's not true. So I'm assuming you're referring to this. I did already check Rivian, but you can just go to YouTube. So here's the deal, right? There it is. Okay. There's a. I don't know. Did you? The neckline is called a neckline for a reason because you're bouncing at the same spot. I mean, your shoulders should not be at an angle, but that doesn't mean that they can't or that that's improbable. But it is. I'm telling you right now that you're gonna bounce off 236, but the overall sentiment right now for MDB looks pretty bearish. Now resistance for MDB is still around here. So again, there's a ton of space, but this is an interesting prospect for continuation to the downside. So, and again, it has earnings, so it's probably something to watch as you get near earnings. So, Melly, ooh, ooh, that's money, dude. You're about to hit support, dude. Why is this thing showing me? All right, so Melly looks like it wants $700. That is oh my God, look at that cap. Hot Diggity damn. There's a gap all the way down at 375. Imagine. Oh my God, that's a double top. I'm bewildered. All right, so obviously this thing looks like it's heading for support with a giant red candle. This one's kind of in its own sector by itself, right? So it's not necessarily running with SPY, and it sold off on earnings. So maybe a bounce retest of 800 or 796, but I would say anywhere below 855 and maybe throw a pivot point out here because you're just out in the middle of nowhere. Um, Sorry, this is live charting, guys, so I'm not making this up. I'm really looking at it. That's not real. That's real. But that doesn't matter because really it's just the key level. We need to break 795 and 803. And Melly should see a retest of 815 and possibly 825. Um, My analysis on Spy is posted on YouTube. Thank you guys for the likes. I do appreciate it. Here, let me pitch in. Um, but uh, but yeah. So that's Melly. I think this one does have more downside, but could be due for a bounce here relatively soon. So, um, damn, watching myself like on camera. All right. Those of you guys again in the Discord, remember to go to the announcement page and make sure you guys are reading that. We did post some important information for those of you guys with us in the Discord. So I've already done Tesla. That is also on YouTube as well. So I did do the cues, right? But I'm gonna just give you the same thing. TQQ has a falling wedge right alongside the Qs. Look for a gap down to 2950. If you get that gap down 2950, 55, watch for a gap fill and a push above 3170 and 3218 for a potential gap fill and push up to the pivot point, and also just a retest of that 3485. So this one is identical to the Qs. And ultimately, if this is a falling wedge and does giving us a 50% retest, it would be 3530 would be my target tomorrow. So is this the video that's live or the previous video? I'm live right now. Um, so you guys can hop on there. Once I close the stream, it'll be a few minutes or maybe like 15, 20 minutes. But all of the lives that I do are available. So you guys are feel free to go back and rewatch them, or if you have a question, right, the best way you could ask a question that if something didn't make sense to you. So I would say at the high TQQ 336 45 tomorrow if we squeeze possibly in line with that 200-day moving average. So all right. So basically everything has a falling wedge. We found that out right now. Um, I think I'm gonna go ahead and um, start looking to hop off here. Oh my God. Wow. After I do this chart on this crazy looking stuff, oil. Holy shit, man. What in God's name is happening here? That is bonkers. see, are you at support? Let's go to the 4 hour really quick. Oh my God. All right, well, watch below 75.50 for more downside, and you could go all the way to $72 if you do break, and then I would say to the upside, watch $78.25, and then 79.88 for a gap fill to 81.50. But damn, that looks spooky. This is just trading view. Okay, so plug power. This one is continuing to hit the dumpy. Man, we played the crap out of that one. So this one had rejected its downtrend right here, and then continued to fall and actually fell below support, filled a gap today. Um, this is crazy. It's crazy. I don't know. I think this. I think based on this chart, we're definitely in for some sort of retest. So maybe seeing plug retest 1825 tomorrow is not outside of the question. But after 1825, you could see another pull down to about 1365. So drinking game every time he says trading view. I wish. I wish I had some wine right now. Actually, it doesn't sound bad. Um, Plug as a grinder, no interest in it. Yeah, incredibly low volume. The wave is past. I believe that plug falls back down. In fact, I mean I hate to say it, but like you could see this as a $10 stock. It might be a good leap. But how you doing, bro? I'm doing good, man. How about yourself? See the content, man. Looks good. Keep pumping it out. Every time he says retest, oh my god, believe me, I hear retest in my dreams. All right, so blink. Probably gonna retest or say falling wedge, right? If I say falling wedge, well, I'll be damned. Well, this is the fourth tap of support, 1535. If you do fall any further, I would say anywhere below 15 even, strong push to the downside. Uh, look for 1350. But I would say a sure bet target is $11.28, which is your demand zone top. So you're crashing the stock market. They doubted me, dude. You know how many people told me that I was gonna lose so much money shorting the market, and then what happened? I used to be a bull. I used to not know the truth. No, I'm just kidding. Um, everything is bad. What are you talking about? I love this shit. Everything is good. All right. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and hop off after this one, guys. Dollar General. Watch for that one to bounce off. I think we gap down tomorrow, guys. I think we gap down tomorrow and then rally. So gap down and rally. What do we got for ES right now? So we've already legged down a little bit. Yeah, I have a feeling we might end up closing and gapping down, like I said. So here, let's see. 395, like I said. Guys, everything is no, I don't think the market's going to crash tomorrow. I think we're going to bounce. Um, those of you guys who have any questions, all of this is posted on YouTube. I've gone over quite a few stocks. I've given you guys my watch list. So if you guys want to go check that out, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Yeah, I see a rally tomorrow, guys. I see 4150. I want to be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. I think we see a rally tomorrow. So come trade with us tomorrow about 8:30, 8:15 Eastern time, and come prepared. But let's make some money, guys. We've been on a great streak. It doesn't matter what streak we've been on, brown streak, green streak, purple streak. All that matters is that we continue to execute, and we're not really thinking about that. Once we celebrate our wins or dust off our losses, we keep it moving. So janitor doesn't do a dance every time he mops the floor. I'm just kidding. That's a terrible example. Just really quickly, because the last request. The dollar. I don't think I've ever charted this in my life. That does not look good. Ooh, is that happen? Could that happen? Is that real? I really hope that doesn't happen. I'm gonna be honest with you. The dollar index looks like it might actually hit the dumpo, like 101.88. That looks rough. But yeah, I think that you might end up dropping down, and then maybe you see a run back up. So, oh, you do. You are a janitor, and you do mop every time you. Okay, well, I stand corrected. And then Indy. So this one could be getting ready to bounce. Hold on one second. Okay, channel bottom, same thing. Watch for a bounce 575. But this thing has had a straight dumping. It's going into earnings. So I'd say that you stop tomorrow possibly and get a little bounce. So, all right, everybody, make sure you guys are hit the link in the bio, follow the YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube, the Twitter. That way you guys know when I go live. If you're not in the Discord for the free education, it is in there and waiting for you to read it. So anyway, you guys have a wonderful evening, and I'll catch you next time. So peace.